Okay, today we're going to make some caramel corn, and I have a recipe that I got off of a popcorn kernel bag, a cellophane bag, and it's very, very old. And this is it. And it's kind of hard to read now because it's smudgy, but I don't use it anymore because I know it by heart. But if you're gonna make it, I rewrote the recipe, and maybe you can read this a little bit better. But I'll be telling you what the ingredients are as we go along today, okay? So here we go. I'm gonna pop 1.5 cups of corn, and that should make about 6 quarts. Okay, I'm plugging in my air popper. I don't know if you have one. If you don't, you can just pop it in a pot. The old-fashioned way, before there were air poppers. Is it 1/2 cup? Okay, it takes a little while, and so in the meantime, I'm going to start the caramel. So you put 2 sticks of butter. You're going to melt. That's 1 cup. Each stick is 1/2 cup. 2 halves make a whole. So if you're teaching your children, be with them because this is hot. It gets very hot. You don't want them to burn themselves. And you don't want to burn yourself either. Okay. It helps to turn the fire on if you want to melt the butter. So, there I go. Then after this melts, you're going to add 2 cups of brown sugar and 1/2 cup of Karo syrup. It could be white or dark, it doesn't matter. I happen to use white. Okay, what we do now is we take the corn and we put it in the popcorn, we put it in a big bowl. And the reason you do this is because if there are any kernels left, it'll stay on the bottom and nobody will break their tooth, biting into a kernel. And you have to do it fast enough to catch the next batch that begins to pop. So here I go. So there's a few kernels left. You don't want that. I'm going to dump that in my mulch pile and be ready for the next batch. Okay, we're just finishing up. Oh. Whoops! Okay, this is all the 1.5 cups of corn popped. Now we're going to add 2 cups of sugar. To the melted butter and 1/2 cup of corn syrup. And you have to stir it until it comes to the boil.
Good catch.
So this is a 1/2 cup measure. And I'm just using white corn syrup. And you just add it to the butter and brown sugar. Put your heat up so you don't have to wait too long for it to come to the simmer, but you have to stir it the entire time until it simmers. And once it starts simmering, do not stir it for 5 minutes. You don't need a thermometer, just time 5 minutes at a simmering point. Okay? Then the fun begins. Then we add 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I don't think I put the salt in yet.
Here you go.
And we need a teaspoon of salt.
Oh. Ready?
Here we go. Teaspoon of salt. And if you've never had homemade caramel corn, it's the best. Okay, now you can see it's bubbles around the edge. That means it's simmering. And then just put it down kind of medium heat. You don't want it boiling really hard. Just a slow simmer. The whole top is going to get bubbly, not just the edges. So, but time it from now. You have to time it 5 minutes from the time it starts simmering. So,
And you stop stirring it?
And you don't stir it. You don't stir it anymore.
Okay.
You don't stir it the whole 5 minutes that it's simmering. Okay, I'm watching the time now.
When do you add these?
After the 5 minutes,
Oh.
then we'll add the baking soda and the vanilla. Okay, we've got 5 minutes. Now we turn the heat off, and then we have to add a half a teaspoon of baking soda and a teaspoon of vanilla. So here's the baking soda. Half a teaspoon. You need to use a really large pot because when I stir this, it's going to come over the top. We've got a teaspoon of vanilla now.
Oh.
Okay, here's 1 teaspoon. There you go. Okay, now watch what's going to happen.
This is the magic.
Now it's going to start getting very caramel looking, very light looking.
Yeah.
It's all right. And it's going to expand and expand. See, it's coming up. I usually make a double recipe and it comes out over to the top of the pot. This is already expanding a little, not that much, but you can watch it as it expanding. See, it's going up. See it rising?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So now you just pour this over your popped corn.
Let's put it over here. Wait.
You put it in a really large container so you can stir it. I guess you can half the recipe if you have smaller containers. Here's the popcorn. That's about 6 quarts or 1.5 cups of popcorn. And here's the caramel. You just pour it over. Now, some people like it with nuts, and if you're making it for a special occasion or for special people that you love, then you can add all kinds of nuts. You can add almonds and cashews and pecans. So there we go. Now, you can use a spatula or anything you want to kind of stir it with. You want to stir it. So I'm using this. And you just go like that. And if you have a large enough container, it won't be spilling all over your counter and all over the floor. When I first started making it, it was a big, huge mess, but I kept getting a little bit better at it. And now I don't spill too much because my daughter magically brought over this huge bowl. Otherwise, it would be all over the floor. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, it would.
So I didn't put any nuts in because some people are allergic to nuts. But the truth of the matter was I didn't have any. But I usually put in about 1 pound of peanuts.
She really doesn't have any.
Those pecans are for the brownies that we're going to make another time. Somebody requested that. One of my friends. One of my really good friends whom I miss seeing during this crazy pandemic. Okay. Now, because we have caramel in there and I don't have a handy apple, just put it in so you don't waste all that wonderful caramel.
Oh.
And mix it up in there.
How smart.
How smart is that? Well, you know.
That's a pro tip.
Waste not, want not.
That's a pro tip.
Okay. Now it's a lot cleaner. Now, if you have any kids, this is very hot, so don't let kids touch it. But you can stick a little piece of apple in it and scrape out the inside. Okay. Now I transfer this to another bowl because this bowl won't fit in my oven.
Your ovens are huge. That won't fit.
So I'm going to put it in another bowl. This one.
Okay.
Okay, this is a trick. I've never done this before.
You need help?
Here we go. We don't have anything on the floor yet.
It worked.
There we go.
Nice.
There we go. Let's not waste any. It's really, really hot.
As you pick it up
So
with
you have
your
to
fingers.
wear a pot holder or something. We got to get all this on. And we pop it in the oven. 250 oven, very slow. You don't want to broil it. No, don't want to broil it. Bake 250 for an hour, stirring every 20 minutes. Every 20 minutes. 15 minutes. Stir it 3 times. Every 15 minutes, and then take it out on the 4th 15 minute, which is 1 hour. My math is right. Okay, we're going to put it in a 250 oven. Here we go. And you're going to check the time, and in 15 minutes, we'll give it a stir. Okay? Okay. 15 minutes are up, so we're ready to do the first stir. And wear your pot holder so you don't burn yourself. And it doesn't need, you just kind of lift it and kind of, you know, just give it a little stir.
Lift it kind of separates it a little bit.
It separates it, yeah, and it kind of moves the caramel around. So
Coats it more.
every popcorn gets a little bit of caramel on it.
Awesome.
Whoops, there goes one. Okay. Back in the oven, 15 more minutes.
All right.
Okay, it's 1 hour now. We're going to take the caramel corn out. Are you guys ready? We're here so you can sample some. So we're just going to take it out and
Make a mess.
mix it again. Give it a nice little stir. Let it cool. And then just bag it up into little baggies or big baggies, depending who you're giving it to. And enjoy it. Okay, tasting time. It's warm. They're good warm too, but
Oh, yum.
I think it's better when it cools off a little. They're very crispy and they won't stick in your teeth.
You try it. Yum.
Delicious.
All right, that's caramel corn.
If you like it, comment, thumbs up. Guess who loves you? I do.
I guess you have to clean up after yourself, huh?
I guess it's time to start cleaning up the mess. But you know what? It's really good exercise for someone my age.
Yeah.
That's about all the exercise I get. There we go.
Amazing.
You know how old this dustpan is?
No. How old?
Over 50 years old.
No way.
Yes way.
Oh my God.
Well.
You are so funny.
Okay. Now you don't eat those. There's no 3-second rule on that. You just put it in the garbage.
Okay. Because there's plenty. And it got all fluffy. Look. I mean, it got all like separated. It's so good. I'm eating more.
Leave a comment and I'll choose one of you to send a bag of caramel corn to. Thank you.